Welcome back. The video today is going to discuss some basic procedures for repairing electrical wire damage. Let's start off looking at a butt joint using a self-sealing barrel type crimp connector, and that will use these tools to strip and crimp when necessary. Starting off, we need to strip both wires. What you're going to do is take a wire stripper that is set up for the correct gauge of wire, twist it all the way around the wire, and then pull up firmly to get the protective sheathing off the wire. Once the insulation is removed, repeat the process for the other wire. Now we'll slide on our crimp connector over the wire, and then what we're going to do is take our crimping tool, noting the correct section on the tool for that size of crimp connector, and we will crimp firmly in the center of where that wire will be inside the connector. As we push firmly, it will crimp tightly inside of this connection, and it should not pull off with a gentle tug afterwards. We will flip this around and repeat the process on the other wire that we are connecting to. Once that is completed, we'll proceed to the point of taking a heat gun and trying to seal this off. So this type of crimp connector has a sealant built in. The edges will shrink like shrink wrap, and adhesive will ooze out of the ends to fully seal the wire. The reason I'm showing this process first is this is actually the most common OEM approved process used in a butt type connection on a electrical repair on modern vehicles. Always refer to your OEM procedures before doing any electrical repairs to see what the manufacturer wants you to use. It's highly unlikely that many vehicle manufacturers will have you do any soldering on modern vehicles today. One thing we want to avoid is twisting wires backwards against themselves, as we see here. That's commonly used in household wiring. The other thing we want to avoid is open flames. Although an open flame can be used for soldering wires quite effectively, the concern is that the open flame can in fact damage the insulation on the wires, or the flame could burn something else inside the vehicle. It's better to use a soldering gun or a soldering iron. If you are going to proceed with a soldering procedure, start by stripping your wires. Take your wires, get some shrink wrap prepared. Make sure the shrink wrap tube is longer than the area that you are soldering. Put the wires against each other in an X pattern like you just saw, and then twist both ends of the wires over, making sure that there's no stray wires, nothing is frayed, and all the wires are tight to each other. There's no gaps, which could cause resistance or even arcing, leading to a fire later on. Once they are twisted nice and tightly together, then we will take our soldering iron and heat the wire and then melt the solder into the wire. We do not want the solder to directly contact the iron, as it could potentially melt to the iron but not stick fully to the wire. So here I'm heating the bottom of the wire and then adding the solder to the top of the wire. When the wire gets hot enough, what will happen is the wire itself will suck in the solder. As the wire is heating up and sucking in the solder, make sure to cover the wire in its entirety. What this will do is create a very tight barrier over the wire, as copper wire does like to oxidize, and the solder will do a great job of preventing that from happening. Once we're done with the soldering process, have a look at the wire. There shouldn't be any frayed wires. If you look close on the right, you can see a frayed wire in there. That could be a potential problem. To clean the soldering iron tip while it is still hot, you can take a wet rag, as I have here, or even better yet, a wet sponge, and dip the hot tip in there. That will clean the tip. Sandpaper can work if needed. Allow the joint to fully cool and then slide the shrink wrap tube over the joint. If it does not cool, then the shrink wrap tube will begin to shrink as it gets close to the joint. Make sure your shrink wrap tube is centered over the joint and there's enough overlap on both ends. As we are ready to heat this, take a heat gun and use the heat gun to shrink the shrink wrap until it fits tightly against the sheathing on the wire. Do not use an open flame for this process, which could be dangerous. We can tee off an existing wire, making a three-way connection without actually cutting the wire itself. So what we will do is take the stripper, we will strip the wire in two spots, a good distance apart, so approximately 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters. Once we have stripped all the way around the wire, what we will do is very carefully take a sharp razor blade and use the razor blade to trim the insulation back on one edge. Again, be very careful so you do not cut yourself in this process. So cut in one direction to the end of where you've cut, and then go back and cut in the other direction. Once you've cut through that insulation fully, you should be able to pull all the insulation off that particular section that you've cut, exposing the undamaged bare wires. Once we have those wires exposed, then what we want to do is open up those wires so that we can insert our new wire. So what I will do is take the razor blade here, insert the razor blade between the strands of wires, creating an opening, and then I will insert my new wire into that opening here, approximately in the center, and then I will twist the wires together. Once I get those wires twisted together, then I can proceed with whichever process I want to use for attachment. Most likely in this case, you will take solder and solder those together securely, and then continue with whatever weatherproofing you choose to use afterwards. If we have 3 completely separate wires that we want to attach together, the best procedure for this is to take 2 wires and create a butt joint like we did earlier, creating that X and then twisting the 2 wires together. And that'll create a joint that's about 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters apart. Then we'll take our 3rd wire, place it in the center, and then wrap it or twist it around the 2 existing wires. So then the 2 wires will travel in one direction back against each other, and this will create a nice joint. And then continue with your soldering process and your weatherproofing from that point. Another method for connecting 3 wires is to stick a barrel type crimp connector on one, twist the other 2 remaining wires together and insert them into the other end of the barrel crimp connector. This procedure can work provided that you have enough room inside that crimp connector for the gauge of wire you're using. And this can be tricky, especially when you're dealing with wires of different gauge. Also note that this barrel crimp connector is not a weatherproof connector. You cannot shrink it with a heat gun. It will not seal. So it's best to use the sealing type or use this type inside the vehicle where it won't be exposed. In many cases, the manufacturer will sell a pigtail like this with these exposed ends that will need to be soldered or crimped to the existing wiring harness. Alternately, we can also repair some of these pigtails by taking the pigtail apart, and that can be a little tricky if you don't have the correct specialty tools. So you may need some special tools to pick out these ends and then pull them out as such. In that case, you can replace the wire or just this end and then reinsert it into the particular pigtail. Check with the manufacturer. Last thing I want to touch on in this video is how to tape a joint. Take your tape with a cleanly cut edge and make sure to wrap it around clean wire, pushing firmly. As we start to unroll the tape, make sure that it is unrolling directly from the roll and we have not cut the tape from the roll and then try to apply the tape. By applying the tape directly from the roll to the wire, we can help by making sure that the wire and the tape get a nice solid connection without any air gaps. As we continue with this process, you may want to do multiple layers. In this case, I'm doing 2, and that may depend on how much current runs through the wire. The more current that runs through the wire, the thicker you may want your insulation. Continually wrap tightly, and as we do the second roll, go just a hair past where the first one was. As we get to the end, what we're going to do is push firmly, use a sharp razor blade, and cut the tape off. And then again, reapply everything tightly. This does not guarantee a weatherproof connection, so other solutions may be more viable.